Hey guys, this is Callum from EnglishShooting, and as you've probably already seen, I'm out here in Belgrade, Serbia at the moment, covering the IPSC European Handgun Championship. Now, while I was out here, I thought I would do a bit about Serbian gun laws. I was quite interested myself, so I went away and did a bit of research, and I've also spoken to a number of people on the range to find out a bit more, and I thought I would share what I've learned with you guys and also give a quick comparison to UK gun laws as well. So looking into it, the gun laws in Serbia aren't that different to UK firearms laws. The biggest similarity is that you need a valid reason to own a firearm. You also need to go through a licensing procedure. So you need to apply to the police, you need to show that you're of good character, no criminal record, of sound mind, that you're healthy, so you have to get your doctor involved. You also have to show that you're proficient with the firearm and safe with the firearm. You then need to register all the firearms with the police when you buy them. You need to keep them securely stored at home, and then you can only use those firearms at approved ranges, in approved hunting areas, and then there's a couple of differences when it comes to self-defense, but I'll get onto those in a minute. The biggest difference when comparing them is what you can actually own, and obviously being out here covering the Handgun Championship, well, you can guess that handguns are legal here. Now, handguns are legal, and also semi-automatic full-bore rifles are legal here, which is again a big difference to the UK. So talking about valid reason, there's actually a lot more stipulated within Serbia than within the UK. In the UK, valid reason for sport shooting, target shooting, well, you just need to be a full member of a Home Office approved club, and then it's pretty much given that if you've become a full member, that you're going to be proficient, that you've been educated, and you're going to be safe with a firearm because the club wouldn't support your application otherwise. Within Serbia, you have to be obviously a member of a club or shoot regularly at a club, but you also need to actually go and sit a specific training course that is both theory and practical, that shows that you're proficient in that particular type of firearm. Another valid reason for owning a firearm within Serbia is self-defense, another big difference between Serbia and the UK. Now, whilst it is legal to own a gun in Serbia for self-defense, and they also then have separate concealed and open carry permits for people for self-defense firearms, the numbers, what I've read, are very, very low. So it's not widespread, and it's only in extreme circumstances. Again, you need to justify to the police why you feel it necessary to have a gun for self-defense. So you need to be able to prove that your life is in imminent danger, or there are a number of valid threats against you. So it isn't, say, a free-for-all, it isn't as widespread as, say, America, but the provision is there if people want it. Now, similar to the UK, you can only own ammunition for the firearm caliber that you own. So if you have just a 308, you can't go and buy a load of 223 for the sake of it. The difference is that you are unrestricted in how much you can buy. So I'm sure many of you are already familiar that within the UK you have an ammunition limit, and that's the maximum amount of ammunition you can buy or store. So let's say you have a 4,000 complete limit. You have 2,000 in the safe, well, that means you could only go out and buy 2,000 rounds. Another similarity between Serbia and UK firearms law is that they have different classes. So in Serbia they have class A, B, C and D. Within the UK they have section 5, section 2, section 1, so on and so forth. Now, what we've been talking about so far, which would be section 1 and 2 firearms within the UK, that's rifles and shotguns, and in Serbia semi-automatic rifles and handguns as well. They are all class B firearms within Serbia. Class A is similar to our section 5 within the UK. They are fully automatic weapons and explosives, effectively any other weapon. Now, these cannot be owned by civilians, again similar to a section 5 within the UK, apart from a few exemptions for sport, but we're not getting to that now. They're mainly for companies, for testing, development, and for companies that are working with military and police again, similar to the UK. So you can't go and just apply for a Class A like you would a Class 3 in the US as an ordinary civilian. So what about Class C and Class D firearms within Serbia? Well, these are firearms that you don't need any approval from the police to go and buy. You just need to be over the age of 18. With Class C firearms, these are any firearm that fires a non-centre fire or non-rim fire cartridge. It's powerful air guns, so just like within the UK, there's a separation between sort of an FAC and a non-FAC rifle. Well, they have that within Serbia, but you don't need a license to be able to go and buy a more powerful air gun out here. And all you have to do with these firearms is go and notify the police within 8 days, similar to their Class B. When you purchase one under your license, you have 8 days to notify the police. With a Class C, whilst you don't need any pre-approval or license from the police, you can just go and buy them. You just have to notify them that you have. Class D firearms are firearms that you don't need a license for out here, and you also don't need to notify the police. So things like lesser powerful air guns, BB guns, things like that. So you can just go out and buy them. Another big difference in our law actually when it comes to Class D is that you can actually own pepper spray and tasers out here. Again, as long as you're of the correct age, you can go out and buy them. You don't need to notify anybody. Again, sort of supporting their self-defense out here. So overall, I think it's actually a very sensible system. I think they've really got it right. There's enough sort of registration, there's enough procedures there to vet people, but then they're allowing them to own more as well. And yeah, I'm actually fairly jealous of the Serbians with the laws that they have. It's not sort of, in my opinion, so far as America, where I think they could do with a lot more checks and balances, a lot more education and training, and it's not like the UK where they've been really restrictive. It's fairly free. There are a number of hoops you have to jump through, but again, this sort of makes it a lot safer for the country, for people, making sure that you know who's got the firearms, who's obtaining them, and that they're being used safely and responsibly. Gun ownership within Serbia seems to be fairly high, and like the UK, is growing year upon year. The figures that I found, actually 12% of citizens within Serbia hold a legal firearm, so much bigger numbers than within the UK. So they seem to be a much more gun friendly and sort of shooter happy nation, so they obviously enjoy their firearms a lot more, and it's a lot more a part of their culture and what they get up to. So there we go, guys, a quick overview of Serbian firearm laws. I'll put all of the links I've used in the description below, so if you want to go and learn a bit more and certainly look into the statistics of firearms, that's quite interesting as well here in Serbia. You can go and do that. If you're interested in seeing handgun shooting at its best, make sure you go and follow Gunroom TV. There's gunroom.tv, the website, or on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel, and of course Facebook as well. So we're going to be covering all of the action out here during the European Handgun Championship, so make sure you go and check that out. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, I hope to see you soon.